Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about co-sleeping, something that I never thought I was going to do because you get told all the time, don't you, that co-sleeping is bad, especially 5 years ago when I had Gracie. That was really quite frowned upon, and I found it really difficult to be brave enough to co-sleep. Actually, if you are new to my channel, I have a 5-year-old, I have a 3-year-old, and I have a 9-week-old baby. So 5 years ago I became a mum. All the advice was to have them feet to foot in their Moses basket, in their cot, sleeping in your room but not in your bed. And I found it really difficult. I breastfed, which meant that I was sitting in bed for lengths of time in the middle of the night feeding her, and I was falling asleep. I would be feeding her and nodding off, and that's dangerous because which made me even more anxious, because I thought any moment I could just nod off and she'll just roll out the bed. I'll drop her on the floor, and it was making me tired in the day because I was trying desperately to stay awake when I was feeding her. And I was miserable. I was utterly miserable. And that went on for a couple of weeks. I was late being signed off from the midwife because of feeding issues. So she came a few weeks into my breastfeeding journey and she asked how I was getting on. And I said that I was exhausted and I was really struggling. She would only sleep when she was on our chest. She wouldn't sleep in her Moses basket. In hindsight, I know that that was due to reflux as well, or silent reflux she had, but at the time we were both, me and Mr. F were both exhausted. So she was like a ray of sunshine, and she came in, she was an older midwife, and she came in and she said, you know what, co-sleep. And she was the first person who made me see that it wasn't this most awful, terrible, dangerous thing that I could do for my child. And she said, as long as I wasn't a smoker, which I'm not, as long as I wasn't drinking, or either of us were drinking, that was also something positive. It, wouldn't impact on the safety of the baby. And, neither of us are overweight. So all of those things meant that it wasn't as dangerous as I'd been led to believe. And she said, you can feed lying down. Well, that was revolutionary to me. I mean, I'd been sitting there struggling night after night, trying to stay upright and feeding. So she showed me how I could lie down with the baby next to me. And honestly, I've never looked back. She slept in our bed until she was about 3 months old, and then it was her decision to leave, really. I think we were keeping her awake, and so about 3 or 4 months old, Gracie went into her own room, and into a cot. I tried her next to us in bed, but she just, I don't know, I snore or something, and she wanted out, so she was better in her own room. So then second time round, straight away, there was no hesitation, and I co-slept with Lily. But actually she was a very noisy baby, and I think I kicked her out at about 4 weeks, and put her into her own room, which I know they say, again, it's all this advice, it makes you feel guilty. They say they should be in your room. I think the advice now is until 6 months or a year, I think I've just heard recently, but it didn't work for us. So she was out, but I did try, but she just was too much of a fidget, and we were disturbing each other, and she slept through the night from about 8 weeks because she was bottle fed. It filled her up and she just slept through. So that was that. So now I have my third baby and we are co-sleeping again. We don't co-sleep for the whole night. I start him off in his hammock, which he absolutely loves. So you can see here, it's at a slight incline because he too has silent reflux. So he likes to be raised a little bit. So here's his little hammock that he sleeps from. I go to bed at about 10 o'clock at night with him and feed him, pop him in there, and he wakes up about 1:30, and that's when I bring him into bed with me. So from that time, I will immediately lay down with him, feed him, and he goes to sleep, I go to sleep, and we get a good night's sleep, or as good as we can do. He wakes up again at 4:30. He's pretty clockwork, which is brilliant. He wakes up at 4:30, and you know, he doesn't properly wake up because he's already next to me, so I can just pop him back on. I stay asleep, he stays asleep, and we sleep through until about 7 o'clock in the morning. And you know, I don't get the best night's sleep because I am aware that he's in the bed, but that's a good thing, because if I wasn't aware he was in the bed, that's when the danger happens. And that's why they say if you've been drinking, because you're not aware of yourself. So you know, I am aware of myself, and I do make sure that I'm not rolling on top of him or anything like that. I was getting a little bit paranoid that I was going to push him out of the bed, so we have installed a bed guard by my side of the bed. So when he's in the middle, he's safe, obviously, between the two of us, because Mr. F is aware that he's in the bed as well, so that's fine. And then when I feed him on the other side, he's got the bed guard now, and actually I sleep better when he's up against the bed guard, because I only have to worry about myself. When he's in the middle, I have to worry that Mr. F hasn't rolled over and squashed him as well. So I do prefer it when I fed him on the other side. But yeah, we had a spare bed guard, so that's been popped on the side for now. And I don't know how long we'll co-sleep for. We might, you know, last a few more weeks, it might be months. We're planning on getting a bigger bed, because you know, in the morning when they all clamber into bed with us, there's 5 of us in the bed, and a double bed is just not big enough. So we're going to get a bigger bed, which might actually prolong our co-sleeping journey. But yeah, I mean, it just means that I sleep, and there's no danger of me falling asleep trying to feed him. We all get a better night's sleep, and he's happy. You know, he likes snuggling up against me. So if you're in any doubt as to whether it's safe or not, as long as you aren't a smoker, as long as you haven't been drinking, as long as you are a healthy weight, then I don't see any reason why anyone should frown upon your decision to do that, because it, you know, it just means that everybody gets a better night's sleep, because you're you know, you're safe lying down. You're not trying to do something that's going to impact on your sleep and cause danger throughout the day. I mean, the days that I'm really tired, I'm probably a hazard on the road. So if I was even more tired every single night, that would just impact my days as well. And with 2 other children to think about, you know, I have to put them first and myself first, and co-sleeping is our solution to that. So I just wanted to share with you that little insight into our bedtimes, because I know that when I was a first-time mum, I felt like I was doing the wrong thing, and there was no advice out there besides the negatives. So hopefully, just by hearing my story, that I have co-slept, some for long, some for short periods of time, with all 3 of mine, and they are all happy, healthy babies, that hopefully that will help you to make the right decision for you as well. Thank you for watching, and if you'd like to subscribe, that would be fantastic. You can see more tips from me, and our weekend vlogs go live every single Wednesday. So hopefully see you there. Bye!